Alrighty, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Wide Eye Sports Fantasy Corner. Every week during the 2024 NFL season, we will be coming at you live every Thursday morning. Well, not live. We'll have a video for you every Thursday morning, talking fantasy, talking matchups, talking stardoms, talking sit-ups, all of it. So make sure to tune in Thursday mornings. Make sure to have the noti bell on. Like, subscribe. You're going to want to hear this stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. We got some good info for you. It'll be quick, clean, getting to the point during the season. But today's a little different. Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things in regarding to fantasy. We're going to look at all sorts of stuff when it comes to fantasy football. Before we do that, though, I want to mention that every single video that we are doing right now on the Wide Eye Sports channel will have a 50 likes giveaway. It won't be a huge gift, but it will be a giveaway. You'll get a small prize if the video hits 50 likes and you are one of the people that liked it. So if that happens, you will be entered into the giveaway, and immediately, as soon as it hits 50 likes or that we see it hits 50 likes, the giveaway will be processed. We'll reach out to you. That is how we'll be doing it. We'll make sure to have, DMs open on YouTube so we can reach out to you and get you your prize. Lastly, before we get into the main touchy stuff of the show today, we have a Wide Eye Sports Pick'em League. It is a $10 entry fee. You can reach out to us. My email and X and Instagram handle are rotating across the bottom of the screen right now. Reach out to us. Let us know you want to be in it. You'll pay. I'll send you the link. You can be in it. It's a weekly pick'em. You pick one team and you go on from there throughout the entire season. Right now, we're at about 7 people, just friends and family members that, pots at $70. So $10 to win 70 if you can pull it off. So with that, we're going to jump right into things. So roll the credits. All right. So this first subject's easy. I got first subject on the docket. What is the best fantasy football app to be using in your home league this season? And I'm going to start it off. It is Sleeper. Sleeper.com is the best fantasy app out there. It gives you all the tools, all the research, all the best everything. Never crashes. Never have incidents where I couldn't get this guy, so it won't let me sub him. Super easy to work with. Riley, Spoon, your thoughts?
Oh, I'd say Sleeper too. I mean, it's probably the easiest to use. Gives you more information than any of the other big fancy football apps. I mean, you can really do everything you need to do from the app.
I mean, it's kind of funny because not even I would say maybe 3-4 days ago, I was talking to a coworker, and I ranked the fantasy apps, and I had Sleeper at number 1. I love with me loving fantasy. I love ranking, and Sleeper was my number 1. And then I think it's kind of a toss up. You can either use NFL or ESPN. After that, you can switch them up.
Yahoo even.
Well, I was gonna say Yahoo's probably at 4 for me, but I could hear the argument that ESPN is the second best or NFL is the second best.
See, for me, it's NFL is firmly the second best. I've never really liked ESPN's format. So
yeah, that's fair.
Sleeper, NFL, ESPN, Yahoo, kind of third fighting for it. So, but if you're not using Sleeper, they don't sponsor us. We are not a paid sponsor by Sleeper, as you couldn't tell by our 50 subscribers. We have no affiliation with them other than we just love the app. It's just
we've been using it for 4 or 5 years now.
So me and Christian decided to use it in the 8-man when the 1 year you and Steven, another buddy of ours, Steven, Spoon and him used to be the commissioners of our league. And one season they took off and me and another guy took over for just that one season. And we switched it to Sleeper. Sleeper used to be about 10 years ago. It was just an update app. I would get the Ian Rappaport stuff 10 minutes before it would drop on Twitter. And I have no clue how. But 10 minutes before it would be on Twitter, it'd be on my phone. And then 10 minutes later, it'd pop up on Twitter. And I was like, oh, shit. It was always getting information faster. And then it turned into an actual fantasy app that you could do leagues in, and it's just blown up from there. It's probably the number 1 app in the world for fantasy football now, and I love it. It is. We're going to show you what a draft looks like.
I was going to say, later. Just to give people at home a reasoning, the update that Sleeper just got this year.
Oh yeah.
Listen, dude, you don't even have to update your lineup anymore. There's a setting on there. You just have to make sure it's in your league, but you are able to just sit there and they will automatically sub in and out players for you based on bye week and injuries.
You have
You
to
don't even
set
have to
up.
do it.
You have to set it up. You have to set
Yeah.
up your queue of players. So like you click on a player and it will be set up substitutions, and then you
Right.
can pick like 3 players. So if a guy's questionable Saturday night, you're going out Saturday night. You want to get fucking wasted. You don't want to. You live on
Set
the
the
West
queue.
Coast. You don't
Yep.
want to wake up at 9:30 after you're out till 5 in the morning. You want to wake up at halftime of the noon games or the 10 o'clock games and deal with it then. You just set in your queue. I want this guy, and if he's out, I want this guy, and if he's out, I want this guy. And it takes care of the work for you. It does it for you. You go out, you have a great fucking night, and you win your game the next day. It's fantastic. Sleeper, can't recommend it enough. Anybody got any closing comments?
Nope.
All right. I have my top 3 fantasy football rookies, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I want to hear if you have any differing opinions. Number 1 overall, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Bang. Number two, Jaden Daniels, just because I think he has the Lamar Jackson style of play. So you're getting rushing.
I love hearing that.
passing.
Holy crap.
Yeah, like I think you're getting both with that. So I think that is a huge upside play. Now, obviously, he's a rookie. He could be a bust.
Right.
But I'm basing this list off of upside. And then third, a guy that nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about. And I do not understand it. Because this guy, if you read the reports from all the training camps, this training camp has been raving about this guy. He's got a top 15 quarterback. He's got a top 5 running back. And he's a rookie with some other veteran wide receivers around him to help and learn, coming out of one of the best college offenses in the nation last year. That's Brian Thomas Jr. Nobody's talking about this guy. Jaguars training camp has been raving about how he is the best receiver on the team. They've just been talking about it all offseason. So I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a special, or he is going to be a special target for Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's going to have a very under-the-radar, sneaky, phenomenal rookie season. So, obviously, there's the Malik Neighbors of the world, but I don't trust anybody Daniel Jones is throwing that football to, period. What do you guys think?
I mean, not having Caleb on the list.
Yeah, I probably would have thrown Caleb on there.
Hold on. We're talking about fantasy, though.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
know.
saying
Yes.
that
Yeah, I know we are. I probably would have.
Bears are
Man,
going to run
is-
the ball too much. Think
Is
about
Jade-
the offense
the
he's
thing
in.
you
Think
said
about
with
the
Jaden-
offense.
What-
Think
what-
about the offense. He's in the Seahawks style of offense from the past 3 years. Geno Smith was never a highly rated
So you're
fantasy
comparing
quarterback.
Caleb Williams to Geno Smith?
I think if Caleb Williams has Geno Smith from 2 years ago style of season, he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Go back
I
and look
think-
at that Geno Smith season. It was really good.
I'm just saying
It's
what you said
Geno's-
about Jaden Daniels with oh yeah, he has high upside. I think I don't think there's much of a low for Caleb Williams at all. Like a floor. There's not much at all. I think he's honestly going to be easily a top 15 fantasy quarterback. And he could possibly be up there in the top 10. Jaden Daniels.
I mean,
at
you're
best-
talking 30 touchdowns, total 30 touchdowns, and at least 4,500 yards then. And that would
25
be
in the
top
air, 5 on the
15?
ground.
yeah. Okay, so here. Let me say this, okay? So I just said that Geno Smith season from 2 years ago, right? It'd be amazing. Geno Smith had 4,300 passing yards, 4,282 exactly, with 30 passing touchdowns and 11 interceptions. If Caleb Williams went out there and did that, he would have the single greatest Bears quarterback season of any quarterback ever. He would instantly
But
be the
that's
best
not
quarterback.
saying much.
But my point being is that would be phenomenal. Like that would be surpassing every expectation you have for him, right? I think
I think
that-
he can get the 4,200 total yards.
I'm not Caleb's not built like Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, those guys. I mean, Pat Mahomes doesn't even really he has scrambling ability and the ability to run with the ball, but you don't worry about Patrick Mahomes' legs getting past the line of scrimmage. You worry about it behind the line of scrimmage a lot, but you don't worry about him taking off and running for 50 yards a gash where you do with like a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, those guys, right? And I just don't really like.
In the little bit we have seen of him, we have seen him use his legs. He had a 20-yard rush in the first game he played against was it Buffalo, and then that touchdown run in this last game. Obviously, I got the notification a little bit before the podcast. The Bears aren't planning on playing him in their final preseason game, so we're not going to get to see him again until the
regular
Tennessee. I think we kicked the season off in Tennessee, but he has shown the ability to run if he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't disagree with that, and I think he has the ability to do it if he needs to, but the caveat with that is that he won't need to. So and I guess actually my biggest fear for Caleb, and the reason that I'm worried he will have issues at the NFL level, is he was getting very vanilla defenses in the preseason, the one preseason start we saw him have, and he was getting very vanilla defenses against third and fourth stringers with very clean pockets, and he was still rolling out, still moving around a lot, very antsy. That worries me, but that does lend credence to your guys' thoughts of him using his legs more. So I could agree with that to a certain level.
Not to compare the two, but we saw that a little bit with Fields coming out of college. But in the opposite aspect, where you didn't see him run like he did in the NFL until he got there at Ohio State.
I really, the way he should play, like the way I think the Bears want him used is not using his legs. I don't think they want him using his legs as a major part of every down. And so
yes, and that's not what I'm saying. Roll. So the play breaks down, he can get yards from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to have 700 yards.
Yeah, no. I just wouldn't count it that much towards fantasy any more than I would count, Justin Herbert's rushing yards in fantasy. Like he's of that same vein with me. Like, yeah, he can take off and run. He's a young athletic guy. He can absolutely take off and run with the football, but he's not going to try to. A couple hundred rushing yards, maybe 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns, maybe. Like that's what I'm expecting. The majority of his points need to come from his arm, and he would have. I mean, he's a lock to win Offensive Rookie of the Year if he has a Geno Smith type season. So, but that's what this offense is.
So you had Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Jaden Daniels, and then Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay. I mean, I won't argue with it.
Cool. Riley?
I mean, other than Kayla, I cannot think of a better list.
Cool. Next up, I just wanted to talk about what's your guys' favorite style of draft. Do you even have a favorite style of drafting? I myself am the hero running back kind of guy. And what that means is you take a top 12 running back early in the draft, and then you stack your team around him. You get a great tight end. You get a great quarterback. You get, rounds 4 through 8, you just take every wide receiver that's best available. And then in the later rounds, you take a couple of guys who were spot starts, flex guys that you can spot in at the running back 2 week to week. And then you have your set. You have your wide receiver 1 and 2 set. You have your flex start set, because you have 3 wide receivers every week that are starters that you could just throw in there based off who has the best matchup. And then the only position you're really trying to figure out week to week is that RB2 spot. And that's my favorite. It tends to be easiest for people to do good with, like newer starters, everybody. And I've just always kind of ran with that one. Spoon, I know he has a little different strategy. He's a hero wide receiver guy. He does the exact opposite of what I do. He just takes that one solid receiver and then pounds the running back market.
So It's not really like that. I would say that I usually always have a running back in the first round that I absolutely love. This year's it was Brees Hall. I ended up getting him.
Yeah.
And
Very
then
lucky.
in the
Very
second
lucky.
in the second round, I kind of watch and see who falls. And I thought I got a steal with Kyron Williams falling to me at the late in the second round.
Great pickup. Great pickup.
So I mean, I don't always do it, but I do tend more than likely to go running back 1-2, and then just stack wide receivers. Like my next, after I got those 2 running backs, I went
3 straight.
5. Well, I ended up getting 5 wide receivers in my next 6 picks.
Yeah.
So
no, Riley, do you have a specific style, a way?
Oh,
you
no
like
QB.
No,
I don't take a QB until after the 8th round, at least.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
After
actually.
round 5, unless it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes,
and I'm not gonna. But they always go in the first or the second or the third round.
That's what I'm saying. Unless those guys are there, if you're in the 4th round and Josh Allen is there,
I'm taking him.
You can take Josh Allen.
But he's never there.
If you're at pick, if you have the 1 pick, right, you're probably not taking Josh Allen at the top of the 3rd round. But if you're in the 9 through 12 slot in the 3rd round and Josh Allen sitting there, it's a different conversation we're having. That's a plausible place to take him. Anywhere after the mid 3rd, I think Josh Allen's okay. Jalen Hurts is okay. And then you start getting into your mobile guys, the Kyler Murrays, people, Lamar Jacksons, people like that. For instance, I took Joe Burrow I took Kyler Murray. Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, fuck it. We'll proceed. We're going to show you guys. We're going to wait just a few more minutes, but I don't see why we need to do that. So me and Spoon are in his work league. This is one of the 3 leagues we are in together. And we had our draft last night. And there are some do's and don'ts in this draft. And we're going to get into it. We're going to show you guys what a draft should look like and what a draft should not look like. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to share screen here. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna highlight Spoon's team for us here. This is Spoon's roster here on the board. Like you said, Brees Hall, Kyron Williams out the gate, and then he has the run on receivers. He gets his wide receiver 1 and 2 solidified, and then gives himself, similar to the hero running back style, gives himself some options for that flex spot, right? So you have T. Higgins, Malik Neighbors, Jackson Smith-Njigba, all guys that you can swap into that flex. He's got Ramondre Stevenson that he can swap out for either of these 2 if they get hurt or injured or anything happens. Swoops up Njoku late is a good tight end, top 10 tight end there. 2 quarterbacks late, Jaden Daniels, high upside late round pick, very unknown but very high upside. Tua's throwing to maybe in the most prolific offense in the NFL, so you're never going to go wrong there. Gus Edwards, RB1A in a Jim Harbaugh offense, always a good pick. And then Chase Brown's been showing out. And then here's the important part to note, kids. Always wait until the last 2 rounds to take a kicker and a defense. Don't let them pressure you into it. Don't let them be like, oh, we're going to take one here. You better hop on it or else you're not going to miss out. You can stream defenses weekly. You can stream kickers weekly. Yep. This is not a position in which you need to worry about. This is not the position that's going to cost you your fantasy league. Okay? As you can see, purple and like a burnt orange color here are kickers and defense. Okay, we had some people that were taking these in the 9th and 10th rounds.
Go over to Rad and highlight his team.
Rad. Oh yeah, this is a classic what not to do team. So Kelsey in the 1st, that's okay. Not mad at that. Kelsey is proven. He's tight end 1 or 2 every single year as long as he has Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. Not mad at that. ETN, still not mad at it. High-end running back. Going to get lots of volume, lots of touches. Ayuk in the 3rd, probably a good value. Probably the contract. I mean, he could go to Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh doesn't have a quarterback, and then you don't know what's going on with him. So the fact that there's so many unknowns around him make it weary for me. Like, for instance, I had the pick right before this, and I took Drake London instead of Brandon Ayuk. And I know Spoon isn't high on Drake London. We talked about this last week on the Fantasy Corner show, but the guaranteed targets Drake London is going to get versus the unknown of Ayuk for me was just go with the safer play. Go with the safer play. Joe Mixon in the 4th, not terrible. Amari Cooper in the 5th, not terrible. A pocket passing quarterback in the 6th, when you could have guys like DeAndre Swift, Dalton Kincaid, Keenan Allen, all of those. I mean, this is a huge reach. I mean, this is like, 5 or 6 rounds reach here. He should be going like down here. Reed. I mean,
I like Reed. Reed isn't bad. I've been seeing that Jordan Love, I've been seeing it's Jalen Reed, right? Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed has been Jordan Love's favorite receiver so far.
He was a top 25 fantasy wide receiver. Once again, promoting sleeper here. I mean, look at this. You can just scroll down and see where they finished last year, how many targets they had, how many receptions they had, their yardage, their yards per carry, if they were good or bad. Yellow's neutral, green is good. I mean, these are all things that are, help you in your fantasy leagues. And
they updated it too, because it did have Christian Watson as the wide receiver 1. Now it has Jaden Reed as the wide receiver 1.
That was just a couple
days ago.
I don't love committee receiving cores because it's such a crapshoot of who's going to get the ball that week. Yep. Him as your wide receiver 3, I don't love. I don't love that because there's some weeks that you may have to start him and he doesn't get used at all.
Okay, I'm actually looking at this based on where he took him. I would love Calvin Ridley over Reed there, and he went after him. Chris Godwin went after him.
I got Nick Chubb after him.
Yeah, you got Nick
Javonte Williams after him.
Yeah,
RB1 in a Sean Payton offense. Like that's
I'm going to tell you right now that I took Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I would take him over Reed probably.
Yeah,
take Njigba over Reed. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's so many unknowns about Green Bay's offense fantasy wise. Like they're going to be a good team, but fantasy wise, it's just this guy is a weekly flex play for you. Has to be as your wide receiver 3, right?
Yeah,
he's in the play for your flex. And some weeks he may have 2 points.
Well, he is the flex.
That.
The only other flex option that he has is DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, and Jalen Wright.
Yeah,
I don't even know why
but he's not. He's behind Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane.
Yeah.
So like this is. I mean, there are some weeks he's going to have 18 points, and that's going to be great for you. But you can't have your flex, your number 1 flex, knowingly going to get 2, 4, 2, 3 points in a week. Like these have to be guys where okay, these guys are going to produce 5 to 15 points a week every week. And then taking a kicker in the 8th round is stupid. I get it. Justin Tucker's the best kicker maybe of all time. He's not the best fantasy kicker of all time. And you could have gotten him way down here. Like, this is just dumb.
Because the next kicker didn't even go until, what is that, round 11? 3 rounds later? If you want him that bad, just wait.
2, 3. Yeah, Brandon Aubrey went in the back end of the 11th. So almost the 12th round. And even this is egregious to me. So right here we have DeAndre Hopkins. Not a terrible play. Gonna have some upside there, week to week. This is kind of where I see Jaden Reed. I see him in a similar light, right?
He's gonna be he's gonna be teetering all year, like, oh, do I start Hopkins this week or do I start Reed this week? And I mean, I know that whenever I do that, 9 times out of 10, I make the wrong decision. Always. That's why I hate teetering, and I just need to go after good guys. That's all it is.
Yeah. Jared Goff. Not a terrible pickup there. Don't hate that at all. 0 issues with Jared Goff late. He's in a high-octane offense. Going to put up numbers. Good pick. Tyler Lockett's fine. Cade Otton, he just didn't really produce as a tight end last year. I know he was a favorite target of Baker, but 20th in tight end. I just don't feel like that's worth wasting a pick on. I feel like
he probably wouldn't have even gotten drafted, honestly.
Yeah, he wouldn't have got drafted. And then obviously taking Tim Tebow in the last round of
you need a locker room guy.
I guess. And then Jalen Wright's a high upside rookie that if he gets playing time, he'll do well, but he has to have 2 other guys get hurt to have playing time.
Just so everybody knows, there is money on the line.
Yeah, this is a money league.
This is a money league, and we got somebody drafting Tim Tebow.
Give me 2 seconds here, guys. I got to respond to this. Continue, Spoon.
You're
Keep talking about this for me real quick. I just got to respond to this text real quick.
Well, no, it's the whole draft though did it. Like it wasn't just him, because he did reach and he took the kicker in the 8th round. But if you look at the next round, you see 3 defenses go.
Yeah,
and that's why. In the 9th round, you're telling me we're taking players like Njoku is a top 10 tight end, and somebody decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the 49ers defense in the 9th round instead.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
So, and I would like to say this. We have all said taking kickers in defense early is dumb. Let me elaborate on why that's so dumb. Because so you take these guys right here. You're missing out on guys like Calvin Ridley, who's going to get, 100 targets. That's 80 catchable passes, 70 catchable passes. And instead of taking that guy, you end up with Tyler Lockett, who's going to see 30. Whereas if you would have taken Calvin Ridley here and waited, you could have gotten Justin Tucker down here. You could have waited and gotten these guys, and you're gotten similar guys that provide you way more value up here than you're going to get with these guys down here. Like, yeah, you're going to secure yourself the best defense you think is possible and the best kicker that you want, right? You're going to secure those guys. But, like, these guys down here provide such a handicap in that situation, it really just screws you over.
So, look at Get Wrecked Punk. Here's a great example. Will you highlight that one? It's the green one on the far, almost all the way to the right.
This one?
Yep.
Yep.
Highlight that one. So here's a prime example. The running back position that this guy has. I mean, he did the wide receiver. He has 2 really good receivers. Then he went Rachaad White, Zamir White, and Tajay Spears. I liked Zamir White, but he drafted him way too early. Like, I was looking to take him in like the 7th round, and he went in the 5th there, way too early. But what really gets me is where he took his defense, and then look at the guy that went after him. He took the Jets at the 10th or in the 10th round, and then Brian Robinson, who is a starting running back, went next.
He's the 1st and 2nd down and goal line guy. So he's getting, Eckler's their 3rd down pass catching guy, right? But Robinson's going to get 1st and 2nd down carries and goal line carries, and you're passing up that. So a guy who's going to get you, let's just see here. Let's talk about this. So he had, almost 200 total points last season. The Jets had.
He did miss 2 games.
Yeah, missing 2 games, and the Jets had 167 total fantasy points. I mean, it's a 40-point handicap because you took your defense. Like, and Robinson's like a low, like he got taken in the 10th round where he belongs. So when you're taking guys in the 9th or the 8th, you're taking defenses and kickers up in here, you're giving up 50 to 60 points over the course of the season. Like that is the difference in, 3 to 4 points a week every single week. You have 3 or 4 guys like that. That's 10 to 12 to 20 points. And now that's the difference in a win and a loss.
I mean, I'm not gonna
3 to 4 draft picks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing 7 defense and kickers going definitely solidified Gus Edwards going to me in the 11th round, and I will gladly take that.
Yeah, me and Spoon profited huge. I mean, I don't get guys like Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Cooks, Josh Palmer. I mean, this guy's wide receiver 1 in LA. This guy, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play, is a PPR machine. And Brian Robinson is, he's going to get you those 1st and 2nd down touches along with the goal line. So if he has a touchdown, that's a 15-point game every week pretty much. So I just don't understand why people pass that up for a Dallas Cowboys defense that, they're going to have a week where they have a 30-point game, but they're going to have 4 where they have a 6-point game. Like, it's just not reasonable. The breakdown of the points favors the player versus the defense or the kicker. Like, you're more consistently going to get high numbers out of the players. So, but yeah, that's kind of the do's and don'ts of this draft. You can see it all here, right? This first round, very similar to what you're going to see in a lot of leagues. The first and second rounds are very, all of these guys are going to go. The only thing that may look different is,
I think
Laporta
Kelsey went too early for me.
I mean,
I saw it and I was just like, man, like
8 to 12 is where I have Kelsey in my big board because of the fact that if it's an 8-man league, I have him going before the middle of the second round. So, like anywhere in if this was an 8-man league, anywhere in here is good for me. So anywhere in here is good for me. So I don't hate it.
I think late second, early third is where Kelsey should be going, right there with those quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's tough. But Riley, you have anything you want to add?
I mean, no, not really. Is this a year league?
Yeah,
redraft. It's a redraft.
So I do mainly dynasties.
Riley, you want me to pull that up?
Yeah, we can pull up the dynasty league that we just had.
Yeah, so we are all three in a dynasty league together. Let me pull it up.
Oh, dang. It's gonna be weird though because the first 2 rounds.
So yeah, I was gonna explain that. The first 2 rounds of this dynasty draft were all the rookie draft. So the rookie draft started over here with Marvin Harrison, Spoon's pick, and it went this way, and then dropped down and came back this way. So we did that because I had the number 1 overall pick. So I got the last pick of the fantasy draft or the rookie draft because we did 2 separate, a regular draft and a rookie draft. I talked about it last week on the show. It was dumb. I don't know why we did 2 separate drafts, but it wasn't my decision. We voted as a league and I got outvoted. I'm not sour about it. Let it go. Anyways, so a dynasty draft is, as Riley was going to say, is a little different. This one is absolutely ridiculous. He had us draft 30 rounds of players. You don't need more than 20. You don't need more than 20 ever. Like we
this draft took like 3 hours.
Yeah, we should have stopped right here. All of these guys won't even be on teams next year. I guarantee it. Okay. Yeah. So, but what I want to focus on is, these first few rounds look a little different in a dynasty draft. You have a lot of quarterbacks. So especially in this one, it's what you call a super flex league. Yeah. So super flex allows you to play a second quarterback in a flex position as well. So if you're new to fantasy football, you have flex positions where it's usually consists of a running back, wide receiver, tight end, somebody of that nature. And a super flex allows quarterbacks to be put in that slot as well. If you need a full breakdown on how to play fantasy football, we have that on our channel. Go check it out. Go give it a look-see. It'll tell you everything you need to know about getting started in fantasy football. But this is not for people who are just getting started in fantasy football.
No.
This is for the nerds out there. But so it's a 2 quarterback league. So therefore quarterbacks are very valuable because you have to have 2 of them to start every week. So right out the gate, boom, quarterback. And then you have your JJs, you have your CD Lambs. And in a dynasty league, you keep that same team forever. Like we won't redraft. We won't ever draft new teams.
What I try and do is the first couple rounds, obviously if one of the top quarterbacks are on the board, you're going to take that in the first
So round. This is Riley's team.
I try and go for young stars the first couple of rounds, try and get a core for the team.
That's why you went with Christian McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
hold on. It's like, hold up. Let me
so as you keep going, you get old guys that are falling. And what that does is it gets you future trade picks and keeps you relevant in year 1. So like CMC, he may only be on my team for this year. And then I'm going to look at moving him and trying to get picks for future drafts.
Yeah.
But that's typically what I do. Because I was catching flack for taking some old guys. And I was like, look, they're going to get me into the playoffs this year and give me future picks after this year.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, if like this is Riley's team, he takes, McCaffrey and then gets the, younger talent, then takes Henry and some younger talent, then takes Jones, then starts to fill out his roster a little bit more, get the actual starters in there. You got to have quarterbacks, all that kind of thing. But if you look at my team, I mean, I went Patrick Mahomes. He's the best in the world. What you going to do? Breece Hall, young upcoming running back. I think he's 24, 23. Young running back on it with a good offensive line. A.J. Brown, probably a top 5 to 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Kyron Williams, young upcoming running back. Tua, quarterback. Had to get another quarterback in there. Debo is one of those guys who's 28, 29, I think. Yeah, 28. So here in a year or two, I'll probably look to move him. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. Same thing with a guy like David Montgomery. Same thing with a guy like Mike Williams. Those guys are the guys. And then always in a dynasty, I like to try to get your handcuffs. So Breece Hall, get Allen. Get your handcuffs. You don't want to be, especially in a league where you don't get to redraft. You want to have the people that if you get screwed, they benefit. So you want to have those guys. So that's really important. But yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. This is a lot more. People who are in this league know what they're doing. They're not in this just to be in it. They have they've researched, they've looked at things, they know projections and where people are going to be and all that kind of stuff. So
in dynasties, the value of quarterbacks and of age increase.
Yes,
because now age is an important factor on when you're taking guys. Where you're taking guys.
Didn't mean to click on him, but Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp went in the 10th round, right? Like I got him in the 10th round. That's not normal. What were you saying, Riley or Spoon?
I was just saying, click on my team.
Yeah.
So me and Brenner didn't collaborate or do anything at all, but back on what he said. So I took Travis Etienne in the 3rd round as my running back. And if you scroll down to the 20th pick, I handcuffed him.
Hank Bigsby. It's the smart thing to do because look at this. So because we had to draft 30 rounds in the most irresponsible way ever, there's nobody left on your waiver wires. Like your waivers are gone. Like they're bone dry. So if, your Travis Etienne goes down and Tank Bigsby's going to be getting reps, you need to have Tank Bigsby to keep your team afloat.
Yep.
So that's just how that kind of runs. So yeah, this is kind of how the dynasty situation works and how those kind of play out. So is there anything else you guys want to add to the fantasy football conversation? I would like to recap one more time and say we will be doing a Thursday fantasy episode where we'll give you some sleepers, some guys to watch out for, different stuff for before the Thursday night game and before the Sunday games. Before the week kicks off, we'll have those for you so that you can see who you need to be starting, who you should be starting, who you shouldn't be starting, and how all that plays out. So that's that.
Can I give a secret real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I wish you would have brought up my team.
I can pull it back up.
Pull it up real quick. All right, go down to Jared Wiley.
Jared Wiley.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a rookie?
He is a 6'6" rookie tight end in Kansas City.
Sound familiar?
Sounds pretty familiar. Look out for him. Travis Kelce's getting old.
At a TCU Texas boy.
What happened to
if Travis Kelce? You're talking about Noah Gray.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be the replacement for Kelce once?
Yeah, but he's played some, and he hasn't really done much.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he? I'm just saying, look out for him. He might be Travis Kelce's replacement, and if you're starting a dynasty, he wouldn't be a terrible late round pick because nobody's picking him.
I agree. All right. Well, thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and we will see y'all next week.